Action. So welcome back to another episode in the channel. For anybody that's been following my videos recently, you can see that I've been overseas and got distracted from the kitchen. Now I'm back, a serious craving for some delicious home cooked great food. I'm starting off with this base gravy recipe that just makes common sense, maximizes on flavour, doesn't follow anybody, and is just full of instinctive common sense. So we're starting off with 2.5 kilo of Mumbai piyaz, which is Indian red onion. If you can't get them, just use any onion you want. It doesn't really matter. These are just really sweet and the best onion for curry to give that authentic flavour. I'm keeping them whole because I'm pressure cookering them and they're not very big anyway. So they've been peeled, topped and tailed. 4 sticks of celery, 3 bulbs of garlic, skinned, 3-inch piece of ginger. For the really nice twist to it, I'm adding about, don't want to overbear it, I'm adding a couple of sprigs of fresh curry leaves, going to give a really unique nice taste. I'm using about 300 millilitres of seasoned oil. What those black bits are, they look black but they're actually dark red. It's rattan jot that I just wanted to put into the oil because the oil wasn't made with rattan jot. Anybody that's familiar with my seasoned oil online. Almost finally, the spices, and they're going in first because this is a one-stop solution with no messing. 2 teaspoons of turmeric, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of garam masala, 2 teaspoons of cumin, 2 teaspoons of paprika, 3 teaspoons of coriander, and that's going in. And what we're going to do is just add enough water to cover that. I think that's just about right, and I'm boiling that down for perhaps 2 hours. Yes, in a pressure cooker. I'm going to give it a stir first. We'll come back once that's really softened. All the raw flavours have been cooked out and it's just a delicious melting pot of infused greatness. I've just realised I didn't mention the 4 sticks of celery and the carrot chopped. 5 minutes now. A lot of people are scared to use pressure cookers. Make sure you cover your ingredients with water. You don't want anything to dry out because you don't have the advantage of being able to look inside. So you want to be reassured that nothing's burning. Exactly 2 hours now. So for anybody that wants a little bit of advice on using a pressure cooker, I just with a cloth take the nozzle off in one quick blast. Nice to have all the windows open and just let that steam come out. That will take some time. Then I like to put it into the sink and I like to put the cold tap on it just to reduce the temperature a lot more drastically. As you can hear, the steam's subsided. Once the steam's subsided, I just make sure the metal isn't boiling anymore. That takes just a minute. So my pressure cooker's totally turned down. I'm not sure if that's the way to use it, but that's the way I use it and I don't have any problems. So now for the final moment of truth. And let's just have a look at that gravy. So there she is. Oil floating on the top. Plenty of moisture in there, so follow those techniques. Everything's totally soft. There's no resistance against the spoon whatsoever. And now this is where the magic happens. I use 2 hand blenders. You might notice, unless you buy a really good quality, probably unnecessarily expensive hand blender, these domestic ones, I've got quite a nice one here and another one, they heat up really quite quickly. Once it heats up, I just go on to another blender. That's the way I get round buying an expensive one. So let's blend that now into a really smooth golden liquid. See how easy? The pressure cooker, you see how easy that's just blending up? So that's been about 3 minutes of continuous blending, and anybody that's familiar with stick blenders will know that your blender gets really hot. So now I just change over to another one. So we want this really, really smooth. Don't underestimate how smooth you need it, hence go into all the trouble of 2 blenders. Now I'm adding a good 4 tablespoons. No need to be too specific about it, of tomato puree. You could have added that earlier if you want, but it's not a problem. Just mix that in. I'm also going to add another 1 litre of water. And I'm going to turn it back on the boil in a moment. Look how shiny that is. So I'll put it back on the heat. So that's as smooth as silk now. Let's just check it for consistency. Still a little bit thick, so I'm going to add some more water. If you don't have much space in the fridge or the freezer, I've only got a small freezer, what I do is I don't dilute it fully, ready to cook. At that stage you can dilute it and you can freeze it concentrated, and then add your water later if you want. So that's going to continue to boil, and I'm going to boil that for about 25 minutes. We'll come back once that's happened and take a look. I've let it totally cool down, and notice it's a bit thick. Really nice sheen on it, so it will be diluted again to make the final curry, but I'm not diluting it at the moment because my freezer is really small. So that's how I'm making base gravy this time. So many different versions and recipes, but more importantly, this is how you do it. Stress-free, no splashing, no mess, and really simple. So thank you very much for watching. I'm really going to enjoy cooking with this. Give the video a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Thanks, bye bye.